Welcome to the Children's Book Author Podcast. I'm your host, Eleanor Page. If you write for children, or it's always been your dream to, you're in the right place. As the children's book author, I'm on a quest to discover everything there is about writing, publishing, and marketing children's books, as well as how to supercharge my creativity, skyrocket my productivity, and absolutely everything else there is to know about how to be the best, so you can be too. Join me as I interview fabulous guests and become the children's book author. Welcome back to the Children's Book Author Podcast with me, your host, Eleanor Page. And it is now October, and I bet you avid listeners have been checking in going, where is the next podcast, Eleanor? And I have 10 recorded so far, meaning that there are 10 waiting to go out to you, which I have been really naughty and not edited, so I have no really decent excuse, except to say that I was working so hard writing The Curious Creatures of 77 Sycamore Street, and once I kind of spat that out, I went back to finishing the edits on The Magician's Academy, and I got a bit stuck. You know, like where you just kind of lose the plot. Maybe it's just me that loses the plot, but I sort of got a bit stuck. Like, do I really want to write children's books? I don't know, because I'm not enjoying this in terms of this project. And I dawdled, and you know, when you kind of get really stuck with the writing part, then the marketing and everything else kind of loses its luster. And that's how it felt for me. So every time I kind of looked at like doing the podcast or even doing some marketing, I was like, I don't know, what's the point? I mean, I can't even finish writing this series. And so I just had to kind of persevere through that period of time and really surrender and let it go. This is one of my things. I let things go over and over again in terms of if it's not really right, I let you go. And if it comes back to me, then onwards and upwards. And what ended up happening was that I had a revelation that The Magician's Academy ought to be the last book in the series, making it a 3-book series rather than the 4-book series that it was planned. And as soon as that happened, everything became joyful and started moving along again. But then what that meant was that I had a lot more editing to do on that book 3 because I had to close all these threads. So I'm still in the process of doing that, but I feel as though I've overcome another little hurdle in the constant questioning of, should I really be a children's book author? And I share this with you because I want you to see maybe you're different and you're just all steam ahead. But for me, even after, I started 2016. So 2026 will be 10 years, goodness me, of doing this career. And still I have moments where I think maybe that's enough now. Maybe I should do something else. However, I do have a tendency to too much change careers. So I do take a little bit longer to ponder that these days rather than in my youth where I would like hop jobs a little too quickly, I think. I am learning the art of perseverance and tenacity. And today I didn't interview him today, but I did get to re-listen to the interview today. I interviewed CJ Watson, who is a former NBA basketball player, and he was so great. You know, it was a lot about shooting for the stars, as the title of this episode is, really believing in yourself. And, you know, he's someone that had to work that little bit harder and kind of take a different road than perhaps the normal, usual road to get where he was going to. And he made it happen. And so, yeah, you're going to love this episode. And we talk about his children's books. We do mention going on school visits. Dun, dun, dun. I don't think I'll be able to continue my procrastination with school visits into the new year. I think that will just be No, not allowed. So next year I'm going to have to force a school visit so that I can go tick, done that. But we talk about that as well, and how kids are there to be transformed and love having grown-ups who share their own stories come in to visit them in a school setting. So enjoy today's episode. I will endeavour, cross my heart, I hope I do follow through on this. I really do. I will absolutely endeavour, push myself to aim to get as many of those 9 remaining episodes out the rest of this year and start the new year with a fresh slate of new interviews and amazing people to inspire you on your journey to become the children's book author. Welcome back to the Children's Book Author Podcast with me, your host, Eleanor or Elena Page. You can say it any which way you like, because today, and why do I say this? Because today I have an American guest, and I'm always loving my guests from the US. Today it is an inspiring, super inspiring, wonderful guest, CJ Watson, who is the creator of the children's book series, CJ's Big Dream, a series aimed at inspiring young kids to chase their dreams and work hard for what they want. Welcome to the show, CJ.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, we're going to cover a lot of ground today, but I'm going to start in the most random of places because that's what I have a tendency to do. I saw a picture on your website and you're wearing this T-shirt and it really spoke to me. I thought, I love this T-shirt. I'm going to ask you first and foremost to tell me about this T-shirt because I feel as though it will spark who you are and where you came from. So the T-shirt says, I come from a praying Black woman. I can't lose. I love this. Tell me about this.
Like I said, just in our African American culture, where church is big in our culture, and praying is big in our culture. So, like I said, like the T-shirt says, I just come from a praying Black woman, and I love every culture. My parents taught me to respect each culture, each person, no matter race or color color of their skin. So, just for my culture, I came from a black, powerful, praying woman, and a lot of women have been praying for me, and I think that's why I've been so successful over my life so far.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on this because I feel like sometimes we don't talk about this topic anymore, like maybe because it's intrinsic for a lot of us, maybe because it's not trendy anymore. I don't know, but I'm Greek Orthodox, actually, in case you didn't know, and maybe you don't know what that is. But in some ways, our belief in something bigger than us always really powers us. And I love that I saw that on your T-shirt. I thought it would be a great place to start because I feel like it has contributed to who you've become and the challenges you've had to overcome.
Yeah, for sure. And just for a little transparency, I used to live in Greece and Thessaloniki for a year. So I know about the Greeks and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, just believing in God. My parents raising me in the church. Like I said, just going to church, singing in the choir, even though I couldn't sing. My parents made me do that. But I definitely believe it was definitely God's gift that I'm here, that I'm a children's author, that I've been able to do the things that I've done in my life so far, like playing in the NBA, and then, like you said, just going through ups and downs in life. Without that faith or that background, I probably wouldn't have made it this far.
Yeah, beautiful. So a perfect place to start our interview, really. And yes, I didn't say it in the interview because I thought, I wanted to focus on the fact that, yes, you're a children's book author right now. And of course, this is called Children's Book Author Podcast.
Yeah.
But let's talk about basketball and the NBA and how that happened, how it transformed you, and how it continues to sort of be the backbone of what you stand for today.
Yeah, it was just something that I love to do. I love playing basketball growing up as a kid, playing with my brother and playing with my dad. And I think that's where the dream first came from. And then also, like I said, just going to college. I knew my parents couldn't afford college. So I just tried to figure out a way to, try to get myself there and, take the burden off of them. And that's where basketball came into mind. I continued to work hard and Eventually got a scholarship to play at the University of Tennessee. And like I said, then my path was a little different from other people's. I didn't get drafted, so I went overseas, lived in Italy for a year, and also in Greece. And that's how I got my call up to the NBA, and then played 10 years. So I think basketball, has taken me all across the world for free. And like I said, I got to see a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people, meet a lot of different people, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
Wow. So in some ways, like the path you had to take sounds almost more fun and adventurous than if you'd just gotten there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So were there times where, you felt like you might not, make it, or that it was all really tough? Like, how did you get through those moments within
Yeah.
yourself?
Like I said, just my belief in God or my parents, they wouldn't let me quit. Like I said, they saw the hard work that I put in. They saw the dedication, and they also wanted it for me probably more than I wanted it for myself. So there's definitely times when I was overseas where I wanted to quit. I had a different coach every month overseas. So my career overseas wasn't the greatest. Definitely went by fast, and it was kind of difficult. Like I said, I just kept believing in myself, believing in the journey, and believing in the progress. And I think that's what eventually over time, kind of got me to where my end result was, which I wanted to be, which was the NBA.
Yeah, I love that. Like, there were moments where you wanted to quit, but your parents wouldn't let you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so, of course you're not, but coming from my perspective, that's so Greek. That's
yeah.
Greek parents are exactly the
Right.
same.
We're all just human, we all have the same, characteristics, just different names.
Yeah, but it does stand out to me because not all people have that support
Yeah.
behind them of their family, and the family sometimes holding you when you don't hold yourself, because it's a really big thing to aim for,
Yeah.
and not everybody aims for big things. So coming now to, and there's a lot of things in between, but coming now to the book series that you've written, CJ's Big Dream, it feels as though something in you wants to inspire other kids to also not give up despite where they may have started or the challenges that they face.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely the basis of this whole series. Like I said, I was fortunate enough to have the support system of my family, parents, aunts and uncles, coaches, mentors, things of that nature. And maybe everyone else doesn't have that, but I want to kind of be that inspiration for them, just to show them that anything is possible. Never dream too big. Put it all up there, put it all out into the universe, and if it comes up short, then it just is what it is. But you can continue to work, continue to believe in yourself, and continue to have the confidence that you can get to that destination you want to get to.
So why kids books though? Like, do you know what I mean? Not every person who has, your influence and your position would bother to write books for kids.
Like I said, I just wanted to inspire kids. I was done playing basketball at the time, and I said, how can I continue to inspire kids but also tell my story at the same time? And all my books are true stories, so that's what I would definitely wanted to go across. I never wanted to tell a false story, so that's how the idea came about. And I met a lady named Tamika Newhouse, and she kind of helped me get all my ideas from my mind and my thoughts into paper and put it into book form, into a story format. So that's how the first book came about, and we just kept doing a couple more. And like I said, I'm on fourth book now, and I'm very excited about it.
Wow, so you're on book 4 now, so you're really following this through. And tell me a little bit about the stories in the book. Tell me about
Yeah.
tell me about them. Tell the
Uh,
audience about them.
yeah. So the first book is called CJ's Big Dream. It's about CJ having this dream of playing basketball, putting in the hard work, and then also, like I said, just trying to reach his goal and reach his dream, which is getting to the NBA. And he eventually does that. So that's the first book. The second book is called CJ's Big Project. That's about homework. My parents were big on education and homework, so CJ fails his test, but the teacher gives him an opportunity to do it again and take the retake the test over, and also play in the big game, and then he gets an A on the test and is allowed to play in the next game. So that's the second book. The third book is called CJ's Big Moment. It's about bullying. I feel like every kid goes through a bullying phase, even adults maybe also. So I thought that's a good book to write. And like I said, I was kind of bullied as a kid. So I think for kids just to understand that we all go through these phases in life, kind of will help them through their growth and their development. And the last book is called CJ and His Magic Socks, and that book is about CJ having these magic socks that he thinks is makes him play basketball better. But at the end of the day, it's about his dedication, it's about his practice and his work ethic that makes him, so good at basketball. But also in that, he travels to Italy. Like I said, I went to Italy and lived in Italy for a while. So just about seeing different cultures and seeing the world.
Wow, you think you've covered all the big lessons for kids. Yeah,
Not
it's
all of them, not yet.
incredible.
I think I got a couple more to get out there.
You got a couple more. You got a couple more. Yeah, but it's fantastic to talk about yourself and your life and your inspiration
Yeah,
being that where you started and where you end up, even if it's in a bullying situation.
yeah,
And I love the last one is, I mean, I love them all, but the last one is so cool, right?
yeah,
I think I need that book because
yeah,
I
yeah,
have a tendency of thinking that, like I can sort of fluke it. And then I'm like, nope, you got to
yeah, yeah.
sit down and do the hard work or
Right,
else
yeah,
you're
for
not
sure.
going to make it in life, right?
Yeah, yeah, for
And,
sure.
and you continue to inspire kids in that way by doing that yourself. So I read in your bio that you have a psychology degree.
Yes, yeah, I graduated with psychology degree from the University of Tennessee. So that was a big thing. I promised my mom and my dad, or my dad also, but my grandma, before she passed, that I would not just go to college and just play basketball, that I would actually get my education. And I'm sure I'm probably one of the first in our family to get a college education. So I think that's big for me, and that's just a big thing to reiterate to my kids that they should want to go to college, and get your education.
Yeah, so you don't have to just pick one thing and be amazing at it, which you
Yeah, yeah,
do. You can actually pick multiple things and
yeah,
be
for sure.
amazing at all of them,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is
Why not? You only live once.
right. Why not? Why not? I love what you said earlier about how, not to ever limit your dreams, like dream as big
Yeah.
as you possibly want, but can I ask, and you have a psychology degree, actually I have a psychology degree too, from psychology degree to psychology degree, I often have this theory that people who have psychology degrees need a lot of psychology.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Right? We
I definitely need a therapist. I might need to call you for my do my therapy for me.
right. But because we're very acutely aware of
Yeah,
limitations, we don't just sort of like blink and get there, as you say. We
yeah.
are aware of our own, limiting beliefs and things like that. So how do you, or what would you recommend? To me now, forget the audience. You're just talking to me, okay? Like when you aim so big, but then if you don't reach it and you get disappointed, which feels like sometimes it can be the story of my life,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
What do you do with that disappointment? How do you take that and turn it into a positive?
You just use it as motivation. Like I said, my time overseas, I didn't have the best time, but I just use that as motivation and use it as encouragement to really continue to practice and work on my skills and get to my dream, which was the NBA. But like I said, I can tell kids all the time, just shoot for the stars, and if you happen to fall in the clouds, that's even better. So I think shoot as far as you can, dream as big as you can, but also just know that always got to have a plan B, and then also to continue to work on that plan B if plan A doesn't work.
That is really solid advice. And I love the way you said, keep working on your skills.
Hmm.
And, so it's really, if you think about it, I mean, it's a short life, but it's a long life, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like I'm learning how to draw, and I often think, oh, like I'm never going to get there. And then I remind myself, like, hey, I've probably got another 40 years, right? If I did keep going for another 40 years, how good would I be by the end
right.
of that?
Yeah, yeah,
Right. So,
for sure.
it's that same thing. So, even you said that you started working on book one with
Yeah.
Tamika, and like now it sounds like you've grown in your own confidence. I mean, can you imagine what you're going to be writing in another 10 years?
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I hopefully I have enough stories to keep going for another 10 years. But definitely, I think, like I said, it's just a process and the journey. Once I started, I really didn't know anything about the book world and the author world. So now that I know what I know now, which is not everything, Tamika definitely helped me and taught me a lot of things. And now I just continue to keep learning, keep building, and keep trying to, just put my foot forward and put a good product out there.
And do you go out and meet a lot of kids in your author journey?
Yeah, so I have book readings at schools, elementary schools, probably once or twice a month. So it's definitely something big for me, and also just not just to read the book, but just like I said, just tell my story and still kind of encourage kids and inspire them, especially during reading week, especially here in Las Vegas. So I just try to get out there and compete in the community and try to make a difference, just do my part.
Yeah, and how do kids respond to that when you're there with them in person?
It's crazy. The kids are cheering and screaming like I'm a real life celebrity. So it's definitely fun and definitely shocking. But like I said, it's just a joy for me to see them smile and see that they actually like the book. When I ask them if they like the book, they always scream and yell and say, "Can we read it again?" But we don't have enough time for all that. But I just tell them just go purchase a book and go read it many times as you want.
That's incredible. And, there's a running joke on my podcast that I'm scared to death to do school visits.
Yeah.
And one day, one of the people I interview is going to get me over the line. And, what I heard from you there is, that kids really look up to adults who achieve their dreams and also encourage the kids to achieve their dreams.
Yeah.
Like you're not there sort of going, "Oh, look at me, I'm fantastic." You're like, "I'm fantastic and you can be too."
Yeah,
and that's the power in that, isn't it? Like,
yeah. I think that's the biggest thing of going to schools, so they can see the good and the bad. Everyone sees the good as a professional athlete, but people don't see the behind the scenes type stuff. And I think that's what kids want to see. Kids are still learning and developing. So they want to learn from adults and guys and women who have done it before. So I think one time you might have to come with me on a school visit so you can break your curse.
Okay, are you inviting me to Las Vegas?
Yes.
Because I'll come.
Yeah. You got to come now. So we got to put it on the calendar.
I reckon this could be a thing, CJ. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, you'd have to just nudge me every time I open my mouth. You'd be like, "Not in America. We don't say stuff like that in America."
It's okay. It's all right. You live and learn. You come here and I'll come to Greece.
Yeah, let's do it. And don't forget, you can come to Australia too. That's where I am right now.
Okay, yeah. I like Australia even better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'd love to have you down under. Hey, let's do that.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and kids, I think kids, it never ever ends that kids always need that guidance. Like I know now that, kids are growing up a little bit, I like to hope they think that kids are growing up a little bit better than maybe we grew up. Maybe there's still areas in the world where that definitely isn't true. But nonetheless, with so many choices and in some ways even more competition than ever, because, everybody strives now for, big things and in some ways could get those big things. Yeah. I feel like there's different barriers that kids are facing in this day and age.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as adults, we have that's our pedigree, right? That's where we are born before them to give them guidance and give them nourishment and development. So I think it's up to us to kind of raise the next generation. And what better way to always give back and give back in a positive way.
So talking about giving back, and of course, in honor of your amazing, I'm sure she was amazing grandmother, Mary L. Watson, you set up a scholarship fund to honor your late grandmother. Tell me how all of that works.
So we started a fund for kids to go to college. My grandma was big on education, and that she would always ask me when I would have breaks from school or how my school was going. When am I going to graduate? Are you going to graduate? How'd you do on your test? All that kind of stuff. So I just try to give back, like I said, in memory of her. We fund probably about $2,500 to $5,000 each year for kids to go to college. So I think just in her memory, she would be definitely grateful for it, and something just to always remember her for, and just give back to her.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure she's up there with wings and a halo, just sort of blowing down kisses to you.
Yeah, for sure.
It's such a beautiful, beautiful way to honor someone who had such a profound meaning and influence in your life. And, was that always in you, that part that wanted to pay it forward? Do you think that's sort of you as a person? Because not everybody would necessarily do that.
I think it's definitely me as a person, but like I said, it just came from my parents. They ingrained that in me when I was younger. We used to go to homeless shelters and feed the homeless, go to elderly homes and help the elderly, sing to them, and just try to brighten their day. So I think that's just something I always will do, is always give back to the community and give back to those in need. Especially, like I said, I always used to pray for, to be successful, to be a celebrity. So, I think that's just my calling, just to always give back. Because what better way to to get all these things or get all this acknowledgement besides and just keep it for yourself. You always want to give back to those in need.
Yeah, I really grew up with that ethos of not taking what you have for granted and
Yeah,
helping those in need.
yeah, for sure.
That's incredible. I'm going to feel bad when I get off this call. I'm going to actually have to sit down and be like, I need to start a foundation or something,
You don't have to, just give back, in whatever ways you feel is best. Whatever you can give on your heart. I don't think it has to be a certain foundation or lots of money. Just sometimes it's just your time and smiles and hugs that people need and compassion. So I think every way there's a different way of giving back. It doesn't have to always be through money or foundations or anything like that.
What a amazing thing to say. Yeah, gosh, I thank you for saying that. That's actually really, really powerful.
Yeah,
That we to really acknowledge the different ways that we can give back and not
yeah,
feel as though it has to, like you said, give millions or billions, but even our time
yeah,
and
yeah,
compassion
for
and
sure.
kindness. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like kindness is, needs to get elevated up as the new superpower
yeah,
of the, 20s and 30s. It has to be kindness on top of the list
yeah, yeah,
more
for
than
sure.
anything.
It doesn't take anything to be kind, to be nice, to be generous. I think that's the easiest thing you can give people is just give your time and be kind and be compassionate and like you said, that's just free.
So what are your plans for the next 50 years? Let's go big since you
50
encourage
years.
that.
Oh man, I'm just I just take it day by day. So I can only take it day by day. I try to live for the future, but also like I said, just learning from the past, being in the present, just being in the present in that mind form, and just being grateful for every moment. But like I said, always trying to do better in the future, learn and like I said, just be better. I think that's if we can be 1% better each day. That's what I tell my kids, is to be 1% better each day. Eventually you'll get to that perfectionist that you might want to achieve.
Yes, and perfection, well, it's this elusive goal, isn't it, that we
Right.
all, want to get to. But once you probably get to what you thought was perfection, you're now
Yeah,
always looking at something else you want
for
to be.
sure.
But 1% a day, I love this. And it
Yeah.
feels so achievable, doesn't it? Like we can become better writers, better parents, better
Mm.
friends, better everything. 1% a day.
Yeah, I think that's this is the main thing. Like I said, if you can just be better in every aspect in your life, it's going to help change you first off, but also change the people around you. And like I said, if you can just do that, every person you come in contact with will be greater each and every day.
Wow, that's so powerful, CJ. Oh, I feel as though I'm having a transformational experience talking to you. It's like,
Hey,
oh,
that's what
books,
that's what
that's
that's
right.
what we're, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And, I just hear so much from you about, believing in yourself and giving yourself that permission to have tough times, but to move through them and keep improving and keep giving. You're like the whole package. Oh my gosh, no wonder you
No, I
became an
mean,
NBA basketball player.
no, I'm not perfect by any means. I struggle with confidence. Probably all my life I was shy and reserved. So, like I said, I just try to keep everything I'm preaching. I try to tell myself the same things each and every day. Be confident. Be resilient. And just be 1% better each and every day. That's all I can do.
Yeah, but even that, like seeing yourself change because you have such a public profile, it must be so difficult to be that shy person. Like my son is quite shy and he wants
Yeah.
to become an actor, and we're like, well, if you you can be
Right.
shy and an actor, but you have to put yourself out there, right? Which can be really
Right.
challenging.
Yeah, it's definitely challenging. Like I said, just being in the public is definitely different. I'm sure a lot of people want to be private and stay private. Even myself, I want to be private. But like I said, I think it's just my calling, something that I've God called me to do. So I got to take the good with the bad, and figure out how to make it work for my best interest.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, I'm going to ask one more question about your books before I wrap it up, and that is, I love the illustrations.
Yeah.
They're so colourful and inviting, and not to mention, I think it's so important these days for kids of different backgrounds and skin colours and to see themselves in books.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a shout out to Cameron Wilson. He's the one who did all the illustrations. So we definitely wanted something colorful, something fruitful, something inviting, and like you said, representation is the best thing. So I try to endure that in the books, and I think he did a great job of drawing the pictures and making the pictures speak words and speak volumes to those who look like the character. So that was my main thing, just to be a representation of our culture, things that we go through, things that we see that maybe other people may not see. So I think that's what I wanted to put out through the books.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so educational for other cultures because,
Yeah,
like, for example, I didn't grow up in the US. So, for me, that's really important that we're still educating other countries that may
yeah,
not know what the
right.
people in the US, went through, which is so important.
Yeah, it's all of education. I think we're still learning as a culture, as different ethnicities. There's so much to learn about each ethnicity that we haven't even learned, that probably been told to, that probably wasn't true. So I just want to continue to learn about my culture, about other people's culture, and just continue to live together. I think that's the best part about life.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. All the links to CJ will be in the show notes. You've been incredibly inspiring. I feel so blessed that you reached out to be on the show. And watch out, I might just ring you and be like, I'm coming to Vegas.
Hey, just let me know. Like I said, I'm always here. Doors are always open, and I'm sure we can find a school to break your curse and get you out there to see some kids.
Thank you, CJ.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Did you find that interview valuable? Great! Now be an awesome human and go and leave a review because it helps the podcast out so much. Want to read the show notes? Check out thechildren'sbookauthorpodcast.com. Want to find out more about me, Eleanor Page? Find me at eleanorpage.com or come and say hello on social at Eleanor Page Books. Until next time, keep writing and keep learning.